Now, since the breaking news of Donald Trump destroying Iran's nuclear sites, right, you got a lot of people starting to panic, a lot of people in fear, and rightfully so, especially with all this misinformation that's starting to get pushed out there, right? So today we're going to break down how this happened, why this happened, and possibly what happens next.
So this bomb called the GBU-57 was dropped from a B-2. We do know that at least 2 B-2s per site were actually used from a height. These bombs are dropped. They drop under gravity at extreme velocity using different kinds of navigation and targeting. They are made from performance steel alloys which are extremely strong, and you'll know why in a moment that they need to be constructed with such strength, because they have to penetrate up to 60 to 70 meters into the earth, and this is what happened very likely at the Fordo facility. 200 feet, that's 61 meters, the Fordo nuclear site, which contains not just a crust of earth, but huge number, like a large width of reinforced concrete. And it is under all that, about 200 feet of concrete, that you have the Fordo nuclear facility, where you've got the site entities, the computers, the nuclear enrichment site, etc. What this basically does, this bomb basically does, is penetrate all the way down to 200 feet, and only then does it detonate. 30,000 pounds worth of warhead on it. It is very, very accurate because it is GPS and inertial navigation system guided, and therefore, as Trump just announced, these bombs dropped from B-2s, even though he didn't take the names of the specific weaponry used, carrying 2,267 kilograms.
A short time ago, the U.S. military carried out massive precision strikes on the 3 key nuclear facilities in the Iranian regime: Fordo, Natanz, and Esfahan. Everybody heard those names for years as they built this horribly destructive enterprise. Our objective was the destruction of Iran's nuclear enrichment capacity and a stop to the nuclear threat posed by the world's #1 state sponsor of terror. Tonight, I can report to the world that the strikes were a spectacular military success. Iran's key nuclear enrichment facilities have been completely and totally obliterated. Iran, the bully of the Middle East, must now make peace. If they do not, future attacks will be far greater and a lot easier.
Now, you just seen how it actually happened. Now, let's talk about why it actually happened, right? Now, I'm about to break this down, so follow along with me the logical way. No emotions. Now, in July 1st, 1968, United States and a bunch of countries pretty much signed the Nuclear Non-Proliferation Treaty, known as the NPT. Now, the goal with this was pretty much, developing a certain type of cooperation. The treaty's main goal was to prevent the spread of nuclear weapons and technology, and to promote cooperation, and the peaceful uses of nuclear energy. And in 1968, Iran also signed onto this treaty. And in 1970, Iran ratified the treaty, because pretty much Iran wanted to develop nuclear energy for peaceful purposes under safeguards overseen by the International Atomic Energy Agency, known as the IAEA. Now, pretty much, like I said, under peaceful purposes. And that's why they keep, in press conferences and all this, keep highlighting peaceful, right? Now, when they signed this deal, and the deal was pretty much went through, everybody agreed, okay, you can develop your nuclear energy under peaceful purposes as long as the Atomic Energy Agency is able to oversee, what y'all got going on. But in the last few years, Iran pretty much has been non-transparent with the Atomic Energy Agency, pretty much sneaking around increasing the uranium. And if you don't know, uranium is what develops these nuclear bombs. So pretty much they ain't being transparent. They sneaking around, just being real suspicious. And the IAEA pretty much came out and said, hey man, listen, something going on in Iran, man. They ain't transparent no more. They real secret. Pretty much they doing some stuff they ain't got no business doing, right? Now Trump pretty much was, as a nosy, powerful leader should, he gets this information and he like, yo, Iran, what's going on? The deal was this. The deal was that y'all be completely transparent with this agency while y'all develop y'all's nuclear energy. So what's going on? But Iran just kept BSing around, keep prolonging things while they pretty much are finishing a project to develop a powerful nuclear bomb. So what's peaceful at this point? So you must have been getting close with your project done, because lately, more and more, the leader of Iran was pretty much making threats to America. So you make threats to America, you ain't being transparent. We know that you pretty much building these bombs. Yeah, it's time to go ahead and take out them nuclear sites, man. Since you don't want to be transparent, since you don't want to honor the terms of the treaty that we signed, then treaty over. We just going to destroy the whole situation. We ain't trying to throw bombs at your hospitals and your people and all that. But yeah, we going to destroy your nuclear sites. So whatever plans and schemes that you got on the low, that's over with.
I'll turn it around on you. I'll turn it around on you. I think it's an important question. I think you're getting at, right? Which is, who can come out? What is the argument for, oh, gee, we should have let the Iranians continue to enrich uranium 300 feet below a hardened concrete? Oh, yes, we should have allowed the Iranians to continue their ballistic missile research. Oh, yes, we should have tried diplomacy with people who for 15 years were lying over and over and over again. And by the way, we should continue diplomacy after they told the IAEA, the International Atomic Energy Commission, to pound sand and said we're going to enrich to weapon-grade uranium, even though we say we don't want a weapon. Who makes that credible argument?
Right. I think that is the weakest part of the MAGA schism right now, is that they don't have any better answer about how to deal with the regime. They can say foreign wars and isolationism and America first, and Trump should be impeached. But first of all, you're right. Politically, they're all in bed with Trump. Doesn't matter how upset they are in the moment. They got nowhere else to go. They already made their bed. Secondly, they don't have a better answer. If you don't believe the regime can be allowed to enrich uranium at that level, how do you stop them when nothing else has worked?
Now, of course, you got the emotional thinkers that's going to think with their emotions regardless, so they're never going to listen to logic, right? And then you got the Democrats who know this, so they just continue being the puppet master and pulling the strings of the emotional.
This is a statement from Donald Trump, quote, "We have completed our very successful attack on the 3 nuclear sites in Iran," etc.
Now, of course, Bernie Sanders won't explain how it actually happened or why it actually happened, right? And I bet he ain't going to explain what can happen next due to them pretty much leaving them borders open, free for all, for the last 4-5 years. They ain't going to explain that. And what could possibly happen next due to these borders being a free for all. The sad part is we might have a whole lot of Iran sleeper cells in the country right now as we speak. Now, I'm going to play this last clip of Iran's FW. And I was reading between these lines, man. And it to me personally, and let me know in the comments section, he pretty much insinuated that they do got sleeper cells in the United States.
We are still receiving messages from Americans through different channels, Oman in particular, and there are also others who are passing the messages of the United States to us, and if needed, we respond to those messages through intermediators.
Now that was him pretty much responding to the questions they asked when they was asking him what to expect next from this whole situation. Now, I could hear a whole lot of manipulation in that press conference, man. Now, like I said, man, I read between the lines of things. And before this whole thing took place, before the nuclear sites was destroyed, it was a lot of cocky talk. A lot of U.S. better not this, U.S. better not that, and death to America and whatnot. A whole lot of confident talk. But now the tables have turned, and now it's, oh, why would America do this? America's a bully, and we're just so peaceful, and we don't understand this, and calling on all countries, we need help. Everybody, this is a violation. Everybody should stand up for us. It's just a whole lot of victim blaming now. So, yeah, that part. But anyway, let me know what y'all think in the comment sections about this, man. Like I said, I wanted to just bring some real transparency to the situation. I do feel like Trump and the administration should have did a better job with breaking this down to the misinformed. But then again, like I said, you got the Democrats and then you got the emotional thinkers that's out here pushing narratives full time. So I guess I get it that it wouldn't even matter at this point. So people gonna think what they want to think. A lot of people gonna think with emotion. But let me know some in the comment section, man. This Bezo. Y'all like, y'all share, y'all subscribe. Peace.